Europe is watching the images coming from South Africa closely and with great concern. There has been coverage across major news channels and newspapers here in France, in Germany and in the United Kingdom of those images of violence, unrest and the looting of businesses. In Germany's Bild newspaper, for example, there was talk of days of violence and destruction. France's Le Monde spoke of the heavy toll of that violence as the death toll reached 117 on Thursday. But as one analyst says, there is a risk here, given that much of the coverage is reaching people through videos on social media. Jess Auerbach is an academic at the University of Northwest.
There's often nuance missing from international reporting, and you can understand that a little bit, but I think it's very dangerous as well, because there's a long history of reporting about Africa as if it's a kind of savage place that has all sorts of problems to it, and there's almost a kind of gleeful joy every time something goes wrong on the continent, in the way that that's represented in media, particularly in the West. And I think one of the dangers with that at the moment is a lot of people are receiving their news through social media, through videos that lack a lot of the context that is needed.
In the media coverage here, there has been detailed analysis of how the arrest of Jacob Zuma led to the initial unrest and how that developed. But there has also been efforts to unpick the wider societal factors at play in terms of low levels of income and high levels of unemployment. There has been a look at this through the lens of COVID-19 and how the pandemic has exposed global inequalities and exposed weaknesses in global systems, particularly when it comes to vaccine inequity. There is a sense in some of the analysis here that South Africa could become an example of unrest we could see elsewhere, given those inequalities and given that the pandemic is still continuing to spread with the risk of further waves. So there is great concern here about the potential for unrest beyond South Africa's borders, and as a result, the media here watching the events in South Africa closely. Lucy Hough, SABC News, Brussels.
Well, as South Africa gets